Alright. Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review episode 420. I thought I had time to do more anime tonight, but sadly, for a second in a row, I only got done 3. Well, I'm going to get done hopefully the rest of it tomorrow. Let's just hope with that. Okay, so for this one, we're discussing the episode 1151 for the One Piece anime, along with chapter 1167 of the manga. This episode goes through the rest of chapter 1118, pages 3 through 13, along with the exception of the opening page 3 through 13 of chapter 1119, which means there's exactly 6 chapters left to be adapted for this whole entire arc. Like, really? 6? So, we open the episode up with basically, well, we see Whiskey Peak. First time that's been seen since the end of its story arc back in 2001. Where we see a return of Mr. 9. He's the guy with the crown. We see his son making his anime debut, called Nowadays. And Miss Monday. Oh, by the way, Miss Monday is the mother of that baby. Yep, there's a return of Miss Caroline, this nun in Mr. Beans. Yeah, and then we cut to Alabasta, where we see Koza. First time seeing him since 2017, which was the Zoe arc. That was the last time he was seen. There's someone with him. Someone who's not been seen since 2002. Yes. Yeah, and everybody's basically wondering about the interruption. And York is contacted by the elders. Is there any other Vegabug the Island? Just, she thinks about Atlas and Lilith. Lilith is basically above them, and Atlas and North Coast are like, okay, fine. So we have 3 of the elders. Yes, only 3. Yeah, the one who's a bird, a boar, and a spider come to the shoreline during the episode. Also the worm, the one who's actually Peter, he actually sucks all the CP9 ages, Luna Seraphim. So, yeah, Luffy and Dory and Bragi finally arrive in the giant ship after running for the past several episodes. They finally arrive. Luffy gets big appetite. He goes to Gear 5. Bonney goes to Gear 5, making its anime debut this episode. Well, it's basically a Nika imitation of it. And about the Elder is basically a giant bird. Also, Kaku is telling Sasha to leave, which I believe this was the last time Sasha's been seen in the series. Let me take a look at about that, because I think... Oh yeah, we do briefly see Leo and Rebecca here. So for Sassy. Page 213. So, Sassy, of course, I think this may have been her last known appearance today. I'm about to find out here. Yeah, this would be sadly put her the most recent appearance. There's a mention of her at the end of the arc, but on screen wise, yeah, this is the most recent appearance of the character. Do not know if, in fact, that they're going to bring the character back. I have no idea. My best estimation is up to Oda. Also, Luffy does see the 2 giants he met during Eddie's lobby, which is great to see them again. Yeah, they're back with the regular giant pirates here. And Luffy is requesting, ordering Sanji, Frankie, and Bonney to hit him, which they do. And of course, Ham's the bird when he gets knocked away. In case you're curious though, where's the Sunny this episode? Well, it makes a brief appearance in the episode where basically Sanji doesn't know anything. You learn about Lilith, Robin, and Nami. There's a mention of Chopper too. Yeah, the ship of the Straw Hats. Yeah, it's only on screen for like maybe about 30 seconds. Not to follow the anime, that's what it was in the manga. And then we have the episode dramatically end with Emmett, the robot, which was knocked in the water. Also, the broadcast resumed. Yes, the broadcast resumed. Also, Doll and Bluegrass's Sea King has been turned into a child. Yeah, and also when Doll was turned into a child, her pants came off. Yep. Also, we see some members of Big Mom's family who have not been seen since Whole Cake. Charlotte Bonney, Charlotte Keto, Charlotte Katakuri. His experience in here is just witnessing this whole thing, and this is by far his first appearance on screen. If you're curious, how long had it been since he's been on screen? He has not been seen in 6 years. Bra, Masiko, Mobile, and Zico. It's taking me a while, though. This is being transported onto the ship. I think this is her most recent appearance. I don't think she returned. Let's see. She does make 2 more appearances after this. Let's see if I can find the person here. Here we go, Emmett. Yeah. Yeah, he basically, he does return. He's actually going to be here for a few more chapters, and then he's done. He's here just to fight off the elders. That's simply put what his reason in being here, per se, is. Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, he was only knocked in the water, I think it was just a couple episodes ago. Actually, I think it was like the previous episode. Here, he's back here for this episode, but he will pop up throughout the remainder of the story here in small. Basically, he's here for the remainder of the story arc. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, though, great chapter, great episode. Can't wait for the next episode, which will air next week. And speaking of new chapters, well, we have new chapter manga at chapter 1167, Ida's Sons. What covers a Ryu's request, Janet and Nico scolding a cat for stealing the book, but we're not really mad. Yep. It just Ryu's request before they can do another one. So, apparently some put this online, though. In the manga, Luffy has not appeared in the manga now for 5 months. Yes, that is how long this flashback is going on for. So, we cut to 5 years after the God of Valiance and 33 years prior to events series, where we see Morgans interviewing people over various stuff, including we see Impel down here. And we see Harold trying to redeem basically the people by smashing stuff. We have mention here of Shiki the Lion, stuff with Kaido, Whitebeard, Roger, basically catching people up to date with stuff that people have known about the series. One flashback here I was not expecting it because this was briefly referenced a couple times. It was referenced during Amazon Lily, and it was referenced also in Fishman Allen. How about expansion stuff, and then of course, Harold thinks it can become possibly that Elbath might become a part of the world government. Then we see St. Garland, who is the commander of the Holy Knights. And we see, well, Harold talking to Neptune. And Neptune, of course, is, I believe this is his second son just been born. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he will have 2 more kids. So, great scene with this one. We come back to Elbath, where we have the founding of the school we see in present day. And then we cut to a half a day, basically just going through stuff here. And we see the return of Fishman Tiger. Yes, we actually visit this flashback from Fishman Island. It was last time we seen, where you see him a little bit more of what happened during when he decided to raid the Holy Land to free the slaves. Well, it looks like he fought somebody, and then we actually see, I kid you not, Boa Hancock and her sisters fleeing from this. This flashback, this part of the flashback was last seen back at Amazon Lily. This is a revisiting of that. So then we see Shanks, who's a little bit older now, who basically tends to talk down to, who's basically, here's the thing about Shanks, is that he is nothing like the way he is in present day here. He is nothing. He's an arrogant dick. Yeah, my guess, something must have changed. He also got his eye damage too. So hates everything down there, and then we see at the fisherman village, we see I think it's Harold's wife. Then we see Hirugen basically eating some food. And then we see various stuff, and then the chapter ends with Loki showing up, and it looks like he has just murdered his mom. Ending the chapter, but it seems like we're actually finally racing toward, because basically the thing with this flashback stuff, which has been going on for quite a while now, I'm sure Oda probably has been asked by the editor, can you please hurry up with this particular flashback stuff, because it's taken a while. Oh my gosh, taking a while. And basically we're just speeding through some various stuff that's happened over the course of the next several years. Like I would say the most surprising addition to this flashback was the Fishman Tiger stuff. I was surprised to see that. I was not expecting to see that here per se. Yeah, I'm guessing that... Do I think next chapter... Excuse me. Do I think next chapter, what's coming next week, do I think that will finally wrap up this flashback? The answer is... maybe. It depends on Oda. Yep. But yeah, that's pretty much a particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe to notifications. I will see you tomorrow with a bunch of anime reviews, and I do have one comic corner ready to go, okay? Next video tomorrow. Bye.